What's going on, everyone? Max Power Baseball here, back with another video. Hope everyone's doing well and staying safe. Last weekend was when we were supposed to have the 2020 National Sports Collectors Convention in Atlantic City, which, if you don't know, the National is the largest sports card show every year, with tables and booths with hundreds of dealers from all over the country, all of the top card vendors and manufacturers, and a couple dozen athletes signing autographs. Obviously, because of the coronavirus pandemic, the show was postponed and is currently scheduled for later this year, December 12th through 16th. But with the way things are right now, I have doubts that this will still happen. I was planning on making it to the National this year, so was really missing it. But as an alternative, there were two virtual events here on YouTube that tried to recreate the feeling of the National. The first was called The Virtual and was put on by Sports Card Investor. This consisted of live streams on his channel every evening, Wednesday through Sunday, and these focused more on the larger aspects of the National, such as interviews with some prominent figures in the sports card industry like Topps and Panini, former pitchers Phil Hughes and Pat Neshek, who are both big card collectors, and the founders of Beckett, StockX, and COMC, plus several dealers doing live sales and box breaks. The other event was called Hobby Palooza and was set up by the team at Bench Clear Media and featured 30 plus hours of live stream content Friday through Monday, which was split into 1 hour segments and hosted by a bunch of different leading channels in the sports card community. Those included Baseball Collector, Up North Collectors, Those Back Pages, Filmington, Silk for Jackify, and many, many others. So while these streams did have interviews with Topps and Panini, just like the virtual did, Hobby Palooza focused much more on the community aspect of the hobby and the personal interactions and relationships that the tubers have with each other. And during many of these segments, they collaborated with other members of the community into their streams. I want to shout out to Mike O and Wesker Griff, who had me on their stream last Friday, along with several other tubers. I'm really glad there was these virtual events to attempt to hold us over until next time we can really have the National, since it's been so long since most of us have been able to go to a card show. Here's some footage I took from last year's National when it was in Chicago, which was my first time going to the show. I decided I wanted to make the trip just a couple months before, as I had really started getting back into the hobby earlier last year, as well as I had started my channel back in February of 2019. So while I did make it to the show and had a great time, looking back, there's several things I did right and several things I did wrong. So recapping that experience, I went to Chicago for 3 nights, flew in Thursday night, did the show all day on Friday, met up with a ton of tubers that night for an after party at the hotel bar, went to the Cubs game the next day, then on Sunday didn't really have plans before heading to the airport in the evening, so I went to the show for another half day. Even though I had a strategy going into the show, which I talked about in my video last year called Getting Ready for the National, I was overwhelmed that the show was so big. There was just never going to be enough time to see everything. So next time when I go, I want to plan on spending 2 to 3 full days at the show. My favorite thing, which I've also heard many others mention, was the community aspect. I met so many other tubers at the show. I'm not sure how many were familiar with me and my channel going in, since I was still pretty new to YouTube, but I knew who most of them were and felt like I knew them from watching their content, and seemed like we became fast friends. I've continued to keep in touch with many of them, and we all comment on each other's videos. I really should have made the decision to go to the National sooner. That way I could have gotten a hotel room nearby the convention center. Instead, I got an Airbnb about 10 minutes away and had to Uber back and forth, which was a pain. Finally, I wish I would have been into graded cards sooner. If I had the foresight, I could have bought some of the things that had just exploded in value over the last year, like rookie cards of Trout Acuna, and many players from the 80s and 90s, and even got some cards of all-time greats in other sports like Brady, Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan. I did buy some cards for my PC, but nothing big that has seen exponential growth like those others have. While I can buy cards anytime on eBay or other places, the community was what I missed the most about not having the National this summer. And especially since, for the most part, there's been no card shows for the last 6 months. And we've all been spending so much time at home. Being able to connect with others, even though it was only on a live stream and through the chat, made Hobby Palooza a really great event for me. So I want to thank all that were involved with setting this up and hosting and participating. I think it was a success, and I really liked the collaborations. Hopefully you all were able to check out some or all of the content. I expect that they would put this on again sometime. It can even be more frequently than just once a year, and I'd love to be a part of it when it does happen. And these virtual events will just have to hold us over until the next National, when we'll all be back in Chicago next year. So hopefully that's able to happen. Well, that's about it. In the comments, let me know if you're able to check out either or both of the events and which you like better. Be sure to smash the like button. It really helps out the channel. And please subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching.